Hello once again, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The MonkeyBoy Presents the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss. And today, I'm very pleased to bring you issue number 26, The Penguin. And this is one of my all-time favorite Batman villains. I grew up watching Burgess Meredith play this character on the old Adam West Batman television show with the wah, wah, wah all the time. The Batman Returns, of course, Danny DeVito interpretation of the character, love it or hate it, you know, you can tell right away it's Penguin. Just like this figure, you can tell instantly it's Penguin, which I love that with these figures, when you could just glance at it and know exactly who it's supposed to be. And this one, again, it captures the essence of that character perfectly. As always, we will take a look first at the magazine, which will tell us everything we need to know about Mr. Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. What a great name. I love that name. And then we'll look at the figure itself, with the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's kind of ugly. He's definitely a pudgy little guy, waddling around like a penguin all the time. Poor kid, he got picked on. That's where that name came from. The kids in school bullied him. Aww. Anyway, sit back, relax, please enjoy issue number 26 of the DC Comics Superhero Collection, The Penguin. First up is Penguin's character section. It's here that we learn that Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot was an only child growing up with a widowed mother, and they were very poor. She was extremely overprotective of him, forced him to carry an umbrella with him everywhere he went. The kids at school picked on him, nicknamed him Penguin because he was short and fat and kind of waddled, and he really didn't have any friends except for the birds in his mother's exotic pet store. So after the incident at the pet shop, Oswald decided he was going to start fighting back and actually began to train himself physically. So that, in a nutshell, explains his penchant for using umbrellas and birds in all of the crimes he commits. And the next few pages just detail a few of the encounters he's had with the Batman and some of his more famous crimes in Gotham City. We find that the Penguin eventually grew tired of committing petty thefts and decided to become an arms dealer working underground in Gotham City, and actually got help from a mentally challenged technical savant named Harold. Not very long after this, Gotham was rocked by a series of earthquakes, which started the storyline known as No Man's Land, and the Penguin found himself actually helping to rebuild Gotham. He capitalized on the opportunity and opened the Iceberg Lounge, rubbing shoulders with Gotham elites like Bruce Wayne. But of course, the whole time he was working behind the scenes, still dealing arms, and also consolidating power in the Gotham underworld, making deals with other big villains in Gotham City, and even coming under attack from rival gangs like Intergang. Next up, we get to look at some of the Penguin's classic storylines. First, we have Batman number 257. And this is a classic Penguin storyline written by the legendary Dennis O'Neil and it features Penguin kidnapping this prince, holding him for ransom, and using an Emperor Penguin as a sidekick whose beak was laced with a deadly poison. It's a fun, classic story. Next up we have Secret Origins Special number 1. And contained within this special was a story titled The Killing Peck, which gave a little bit of background to the Penguin. No one ever really gave him an origin before this. We see him finally tracking down his bully from his childhood known as Sharky. He kidnaps him, takes him to this zoo, and actually tortures him and reminds him of all the horrible things he did in his childhood, thus giving us, the readers, a glimpse into the Penguin's origin. Lastly, we have Joker's Asylum, Penguin. And this story is told to the reader by the Joker. Joker narrates this story about the Penguin and basically tells about how he is still this hurt little boy who was spurned by a girl once upon a time and is now overcompensating in everything that he does. The Iceberg Lounge, trying to act like he's this wealthy, legitimate businessman. And it also tells how he's sort of just this heartbroken little boy deep down inside. The Penguin's Allies and Enemies section features on the first page Batman and the Joker. And the next couple pages are a nice mix of other Gothamites. Penguin's iconography section, first of all, takes a look at all the different types of umbrellas he's used in his crimes, from shield umbrellas, flying umbrellas, to gas umbrellas, and even buzzsaw umbrellas. It also takes a look at his legitimate business front, the Iceberg Lounge, and how he capitalizes on it in every way he can possibly think of. And finally, in the original thinking section, we continue the DC timeline with Part 17, Discord and Divinity. This section first talks about the Well of Souls, which first appeared about 3,700 years ago. At around this same time, deep in the far reaches of space, the Guardians of the Universe began to expand the Green Lantern Corps and police even more of the known galaxy. And finally, we learn in Egypt during the 13th dynasty of a treacherous priest known as Hath Set, who would become a almost immortal enemy to a prince of Egypt who was known as Kufumat Ketar, the very first Hawkman. And here we have the Penguin, Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. Love that name. And I am so thrilled with this figure. I'm just so, I don't know, tickled, I guess, by this figure. He's great. He's everything I wanted out of a Penguin figurine, really. He captures the essence of the character perfectly, the way that this is sculpted, the pose. He looks great. You know, he looks like this sort of shady business guy with this kind of slimy smile on his face. It's great. He's got the monocled eye. I love the purple and the black stripes on the pants, that gold vest. You know, he looks like a maitre d' at an upscale kind of, you know, lounge or club or restaurant, which he pretends to be. It's great. The umbrella, of course, have to have the umbrella when you have the Penguin. Love the tails on the tuxedo, and all the little touches, all the little flourishes, the gold on the buttons, the gold there. I mean, even on his lapel, it's great. And the shoes, too. He has those nice, like, tuxedo shoes. I'm not really sure what you call those. Fail. Anyway, and the gloved hands. It's really great. Bow tie. I mean, every little detail is great. And his nose, his profile. Look at that. It's Penguin. You know instantly that it's the Penguin. The only minor thing that I'll criticize, and it is extremely minor, because this is just perfect, really, really perfect, is he's missing his trademark kind of cigarette. I could forgive that, though, because, I mean, that would be very difficult to pull off. It would be so small and so fragile, it would probably snap off in a heartbeat anyway. So, again, it's a fanboy wish. But overall, I mean, gosh, he's just perfect. More pictures here in just a second. Oswald stands atop the DC logo, and on the underside of the base is his name in the most languages I think I've seen so far, along with his serial number. And because you demanded it, a group shot of all the villains from Batman's Rogues Gallery so far. And just so you can see how diminutive he is, here he is next to Batman. So Penguin is just fantastic. This is everything I wanted from this figure. As I said before, this is Eaglemoss at their finest. Every little detail on him is perfect. I love the double chin. I love the long pointy nose, the monocle on his eye, the top and tails of the tuxedo outfit. That gold vest of his is fantastic as well. I love how small he is as well. He is the shortest figure so far. There are a couple others, believe it or not, that actually get even smaller than him, but so far he's the smallest one in the line, and it's great. He should be a tiny little dude. The paint scheme, the pose, I love the interpretation of the character here. It's not really any one in particular. It's an amalgamation of them all, which are the ones that I tend to like the most out of these figures. The umbrella detail is fantastic, down to the bow tie and everything on him. It's great, his little sneer and everything. The bad, nothing really on this figure, to be totally honest with you. As I said, the nitpick I have is there's no cigarette. Other than that, I mean, minor little paint bleeds, but, you know, I chalk that up to the fact that it's a hand-painted figure, you know? The ugly, I have heard of the umbrella breaking out of the hand, so you might want to watch that, especially taking it out of the blister. It can get a little sticky there. Otherwise, as long as you're not picking it up and swinging it around by that, you should be fine. Overall, very, very happy with this character. Great to have him with the other villains in the Batman line here so far. Kind of surprised it took him this long to get to him. I consider him to be one of Batman's top villains, honestly. When I think of, you know, villains, I think, you know, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman. He's usually one of the first that I think of, so it's shocking it took him this long. But overall, very happy to have him, not complaining. He's great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for a quick teaser of the next character in the line. It's another villain, but it's not a Batman villain this time. Isn't that exciting? It's a villain I think some people will be familiar with, honestly. So stay tuned for that real quick. As always, I am your host, the Monkey Boy, aka Jay to his friends. Thanks for watching.